Welcome back, learner, to our usual science lesson. And as I always say, a pupil should be ready with a book and a pen. As I promised earlier, our subtopic is digestive system. Remember, we were still dealing with the human body, so our subtopic is digestive system, class 5-1. Learner, before we go further, we need to know the meaning of digestion. What is digestion? Digestion is the breaking down of food particles. Digestion is the breaking down of food into small particles that can be absorbed into the bloodstream, or the breaking down of food particles that can be absorbed by the body, which means the food you eat cannot just be absorbed directly into the body. It has to be broken into small particles. So the breaking down of food particles into small units that can be absorbed by the body, that is what's called digestion. I believe that we are together up to that point, learner. Then we need to know at what parts of the digestive system, or before we go into that, we need to know the parts of digestive system, learner. The following are the parts of digestive system. The following are the parts of digestive system. We have mouth, we have esophagus, we have stomach, we have small intestine, we have large intestine, we have rectum, and we have anus. Out of all the parts that are mentioned, where does digestion begin? And if you are keen enough, learner, you will realize that the parts that are mentioned are here. But there are some parts that are here that I have not mentioned. That is pancreas and the liver. Pancreas and the liver, I have not mentioned them. You need to ask yourself, or ask me, why have I not mentioned them? Pancreas and liver are not part of digestive system. They are supporting organs. I repeat, pancreas and liver are not part of digestive system, but they are supporting organ or helping water organ. In which part of the digestive system does digestion begin? Digestion begins in the mouth. And how does digestion begin? Digestion begins by physical digestion, that is, the teeth breaking the food through chewing. So chewing is just the physical digestion. But that's not enough. For digestion to take place, I have said, for digestion to take place, we have some chemicals which are known as enzymes. At primary level or at your level, we call them digestive juices. What are these digestive juices? One of them is saliva. 2, we have gastric juice. 3, we have pancreatic juice. 4, we have bile juice. 5, we have intestinal juice. So we have 5 digestive juices, and they have got their functions. I will start with the first one that I mentioned, that is saliva. What are the functions of saliva? Saliva has got 2 or 3 functions. One, Saliva help in digesting carbohydrates, digestion of carbohydrates, that is starch. 2, saliva help in lubricating the food. Another function of saliva, saliva makes the food to be sticky, which means it combines the foods together to form balls, and these balls are known as boluses. So when you take food, before you chew it, there are small balls that are formed, and when you swallow, you see the balls running down. So those balls running down are called boluses. Those balls are able to be formed because of the saliva, which is sticky, brings them together. The boluses roll down because they are slippery. What makes them slippery is the saliva. And I've said saliva also helps in digestion of starch, carbohydrates, energy-giving foods. I think I'm clear up to that point, Lana. Lana, you need to ask yourself, what will you be asked? The process through which the boluses moves from the mouth to the stomach is known as peristalsis. Peristalsis. So you need to know that term. I believe you know. From the mouth, from the second digestive juice is gastric juice. Where do we find the gastric juice? Gastric juice is found in the stomach, and it is excreted from the walls of the stomach. What is the function of gastric juice, Lana? Gastric juice help in digestion of proteins. You can give examples of proteins in Lana. We have proteins, we have beans, we have the animal products. So we get proteins from the animal products, we get proteins from legumes. Sorry, Lana. So you need to know the sources of proteins. And I've said gastric juice help in digestion of proteins. Then we have this hydrochloric acid, which is also produced from the walls of the stomach. Remember, hydrochloric acid is not a digestive juice, but it helps in killing the bacteria that might have been consumed by the food. They kill the bacteria or the germs that might have been consumed by the food. You know, when you eat food, you are not sure. You know, there are some bacteria, you consume them as you consume food. So it is the function of the hydrochloric acid to deal with those bacteria. So hydrochloric acid is not a digestive juice, Lana. Then we have another digestive juice, that is pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice is produced from the pancreas. Now that's where, if you remember, I told you, pancreas and liver are not part of the digestive system, but they are helping organs or supporting organs. How do they help digestion? Pancreas help in the digestive system by producing pancreatic juice. What is the function of pancreatic juice? Pancreatic juice help in further digestion, and also in the pancreatic juice there is this substance known as insulin. There is this substance known as insulin. What is the function of insulin, Lana? The function of insulin is to control the sugar level in our body. You know, that's why sometimes you go for sugar level tests, you be advised by the doctor that your sugar level is too low or your sugar level is too high. So The substance that is responsible for controlling the sugar level in your body is the insulin, which is found in the pancreatic juice. Then we have another digestive juice, that is bile juice. Bile juice is produced by the liver, which is a helping organ, and is stored in a gallbladder. After it has been stored in a gallbladder, it is the gallbladder that releases it to the duodenum. Then what is the function of the bile juice? Bile juice help in digestion of fats and oil. Remember, I did not mention duodenum when I was mentioning the parts of digestive system. Remember, duodenum is just the upper part of the small intestine. So that's why I didn't mention it is just the upper part of the small intestine. So we have the two digestive juices that are produced in the duodenum, that is pancreatic juice, and we have the bile juice. I would say bile juice help in digestion of fats and oil. Then I take you to the last digestive juice. The last digestive juice, Lana, the last digestive juice is intestinal juice, which is produced from the walls of the small intestine. What is the function of intestinal juice? It helps in further digestion. You know, remember, digestion begins in the mouth. Not all the carbohydrates will be digested in the mouth. Not all the proteins will be digested in the stomach. Not all the fats and oil will be digested in the duodenum. So the further digestion will be done by the intestinal juice, which means intestinal juice completes the digestion. And in the small intestine, we have a finger-like structures. And the name of those finger-like structures are called villi. What is the function of villi? Villi is to increase the surface area for absorption of food. In summary, digestion begins in the mouth and ends in the small intestine, which is also known as ileum. Lana, you realize that when I was discussing all this, I did not mention something like esophagus or gullet or food pipe. I've not mentioned something to do with colon or large intestine. I've not mentioned something to do with the rectum or anus. What does that mean? Digestion does not take place in the esophagus. Digestion does not take place in the large intestine. Digestion does not take place in the rectum. Digestion does not take place in the anus. Why? Because in those parts we don't have digestive juices, so digestion cannot take place where there is no digestive juice. Then that one takes us to what is the function of esophagus. Esophagus or food pipe or gullet is simply the pipe that connects the mouth and the stomach. It allows the food from the mouth to the stomach. Then, what is the function of the large intestine? The function of large intestine, in the large intestine, that is where water and mineral salts are absorbed. Water and mineral salts are absorbed in the large intestine. Remember, digested food is absorbed in the small intestine. Then, what is the function of rectum? Rectum is the part that stores undigested food materials temporarily before they are released out through the anus. So the anus is the hole through which the undigested food material pass through when they leave the body. Remember, the pipe that runs from the mouth to the anus is called alimentary canal or the gut. Lana, up to that point, I think I've made myself clear. Now you can be asked, for a point to note, we have things like vitamin, glucose, medicine, alcohol, in which part of digestive system do these materials are absorbed? Remember, I said earlier, digested food is absorbed in the small intestine, water and mineral salts absorbed in the large intestine. But I did not mention vitamins, I did not mention glucose, I did not mention alcohol, I did not mention medicine. I did not mention amino acid. The materials, the 5 materials that I have mentioned are absorbed in the stomach, though they are not examined in the national exam. But you should know that because we have these commercial papers and your teachers expect you to pass. So I've seen quite a number of times these papers asking the questions dealing with vitamins when they are absorbed. And actually that's very, very much important because you are not only revising to pass KCPE and go, you are revising or you are studying so that the education to help you in future, you apply them in future. So I think it's very, very much important to know the time or to know the part which vitamins, amino acid, medicines, alcohol are being absorbed. Lana? Up to where I've reached, I think I've exhausted everything. Not unless you have a question. Most of the pupils always ask this question, but I want to discourage you from asking such questions. What is the function of appendix? Forget about it. Don't ask it. Leave it until you reach the second level. I'm not saying it is not important, but it's very, very important. But in future. So as usual, learner, before we leave, take notes or write the following questions. Number 1. What is digestion? What is digestion? Number 2. What is another name of alimentary canal? What is another name of alimentary canal? Number 3. Dash and dash are supporting organs in the digestive system. Dash and dash are supporting organs in the digestive system. Next question. That's number 4. List down parts of digestive system. List down parts of digestive system. Number 5. List down the 5 digestive juices. Number 6. Which parts of digestive system do digestion takes place? In short, list down the parts of digestive system in which digestion takes place. The last question. Draw a well-labeled diagram of digestive system. Draw a well-labeled diagram of digestive system. Learner, up to that point, we are going to stop, and I believe that you have enjoyed the lesson. Let's meet next time, and when we meet next time, learner, when we meet next time, I promise, breathing system. Don't miss that unit. It's a very, very important unit. Breathing system. Prepare for that lesson before we meet next time. Otherwise, bye and enjoy your time.